Capitol Hill have now received the final classified version of the Pentagon Watchdog's report into Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and him using Signal to talk about highly sensitive military operations. That intel leak, you'll remember, dates back to March when the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic was accidentally added to a Signal chat where Hegseth was discussing imminent U.S. military strikes in Yemen. The timing of this report release, a busy one for the Defense Secretary Hegseth, as he is facing serious scrutiny also for the double-tap strike on a suspected Venezuelan drug boat. Hegseth now says that he didn't learn of the second hit until hours later, blaming the, quote, fog of war for any confusion after the first hit. At the same time, she's shifting responsibility to Admiral Mitch Bradley, who he said made the call on the second strike, though the Secretary and the President are defending the Admiral. Republican Congressman Don Bacon, he's not having it. He says responsibility, no matter what, lies at the top.
Do you think that he should go if he's involved here?
Secretary, absolutely. I felt that way under Signalgate. He should take responsibility then, and he didn't.
You have no confidence in it?
I'm going to say I disagree with him across the board, but I've seen enough that I don't think he's the right leader.
Joining us right now is retired Army Brigadier General Steve Anderson and CNN political and global affairs commentator Sabrina Singh for much more on all of this. General, I want to start with kind of the forward-looking news when it comes to the situation with Venezuela. The statement from President Trump during his cabinet meeting was as follows: "We're going to start doing those strikes on land too. We know where they live. We know where the bad ones live, and we're going to start that very soon." General, if he means it this time, this escalation means what in terms of how much things are about to change?
Well, Kate, this would be an act of war. I mean, this would be a violation of Venezuelan national sovereignty, a violation of the War Powers Act that says that you're supposed to get congressional approval to do such a thing. I mean, this would be so wrong, it's off the chart. I mean, the actions thus far against Venezuela are pretty much illegal, immoral, un-American, and they've been ineffective. I mean, if you really want to take out bad guys and stop drug cartels, you try to interdict those ships in the first place. And you try to use the Coast Guard, as they've done thousands of times, to interdict and to disable vehicles, to fire warning shots, etc. Do all the things you do in order to capture and get intelligence that you could use to derive against the bad guys and the cartels. And then the second thing you want to do is you want to train your military. You want to equip them. You want to train them, just like we did in Colombia. We were very successful in Colombia in stopping the cocaine traffic. And so that's the kind of things that we need to do in Venezuela. We do not need to be committing acts of war against our sovereign territory.
And Sabrina, I want to play for you what the top Democrat on Senate Armed Services just said, clearly losing patience in getting answers about that second strike that we're focused so much on in September.
I'm very suspicious that they've never shared that tape with us and that they are consciously trying to cover up what took place.
Sabrina, you worked at the Pentagon. Does this video exist? Is it hard to release it if it does exist?
So I think Jack Reed is right, that there is more of what we're seeing as a cover-up here. There is always video of strikes that occur on these ships. And what you are seeing is some of the videos that Hegseth has released are from overhead aircraft taking video to make sure that essentially the strike was successful. So the video that was shared on Hegseth's social media platform was probably the first strike. And then, of course, as we know now that there was a second strike with survivors, that video and all of, whether it's the audio, whether there were any, written commands given to Admiral Bradley or others, all of that is what's going to be comprised in this investigation that is hopefully going to be bipartisan led. And that's what Jack Reed and other senators and House members are asking for. They want to see all of the video. And that is something that certainly exists at the Pentagon. But also what exists here are who are the people in the room? I think everyone, of course, Admiral Bradley is now getting the finger pointed at him by Secretary Hegseth, who has changed his story multiple times and tries to distance himself from this strike. But at the end of the day, there were other people in the room, and who was giving the legal advice? When I was in the Biden administration, we always had the lawyers in the loop for any single strike, especially if there was a follow-on strike. So who were the lawyers in the room also giving that advice? All of those components and people will be part of that, hopefully, classified testimony to different committees on the Hill.
General,